Good morning, this is John, host of Mgtow is Freedom. It's a nice quiet morning and I'm having a cup of coffee. I want to welcome all of you and I want to thank you for subscribing, for watching, and for commenting. I like to think that what I do is offer more opinion on a subject. And like the artist, more color, more paint that is applied to the canvas, the clearer the picture can become. So that's why all of our voices matter in this, especially since we're all in the same fight together. We're all battling the social agenda called feminism. And I woke up this morning and I was thinking about feminism and how it teaches women, how it lies to them and says that they're the equals of men. And I thought, well, that's an interesting statement because there are no real facts to back it up, other than some obvious things like we have 10 fingers and 10 toes. But on more important matters, they don't. So feminism is taught that women are the equal of men. But in reality, the equality seems to stop with regard to just owning property. Feminism is not taught responsibility to women. If anything, it's kept women from becoming responsible. It's kept the feminists from being held accountable. So it's allowed them to run loose with the propaganda that women are the equal of men. And all the while, feminism and its adherents, that is, everyone who is a feminist, have battled, have fought for special rights, special privileges, additional rights. And on top of that, they fight to not be held responsible. An example of that would be the position that women can have sex with men, change their minds after the fact, and then have that man prosecuted for rape. At the very least, it'll result in his name being tarnished. A police investigation ensued and his reputation, possibly forever being ruined. But what's worse than that is if it sticks. If her lie is allowed to stand and he's charged, and then what if he's convicted? What is that taught the woman? It's taught that feminist that she doesn't have to be responsible for her own actions. Right? She said, yes, let's have sex. And then she changed her mind for whatever reason. She had regret, guilt, doubt, shame. Maybe she felt like she didn't get enough out of the guy. Maybe she felt slighted by him. Maybe it was a game that she was playing to get revenge on him for another girl. Women aren't held responsible. Well, I got to take that back. I think unicorns are probably held responsible by their men. Because I'm going to go this far. In order to hold someone responsible, you have to hold them responsible, and that means consequences. I think that men are responsible for feminism getting out of control, just as much as the feminists are responsible for pushing for all of the special privileges they get. Because of this one subject, this one topic called the ultimatum. I have faced ultimatums throughout my entire life. You will do this, or this is going to happen. It's a consequence. It's a consequence of being a man. It's a consequence of doing business. It's a consequence, and it's a severe consequence. It's a yes or no type consequence. And ultimatums typically carry a very negative connotation that goes with them. There's a negative thought or vibe that goes with the ultimatum. as if the person giving the ultimatum is bad, as if they're so extreme that they shouldn't be tolerated. But we're given ultimatums all the time. The red lights come on, you will pull over or you will be run off the road and then summarily beaten by a cop. And then summarily beaten by all of his partners. That's a form of ultimatum. You will pay your taxes, or the government will show up and take all of your stuff. That is an ultimatum. You will do this, you will do that, or else, or else, or else. And there is no discretion. It is just demand, consequence, demand, consequence. As a result, as human beings, men are conditioned to respond to ultimatums. Do you want the pain or do you don't want the pain? Women are not held responsible. And feminism is seen to it that women get special privileges so that consequences are not enforced on them, so that they can get away with it, so that they can continue to act like children while demanding all the fruits of what it means to be a productive human being. How many times have you heard the expression, I slept on the couch, right? I'm in the doghouse with the old lady, with the little woman. Why are you in the doghouse? Well, you chose to do something, and the ultimatum was, well, then you're just not getting what you want, right? You're not going to sleep in your own bed. The woman is putting forward, the feminist is out there. They're putting themselves forward as the authority figure, and we're accepting it. We're accepting them claiming something for which they really don't want the responsibility for. So they put out the ultimatum, you're on the couch. They put out the demand, and we start playing by the conditioned response. We're responding to the ultimatum. Well, you better do as they say or else you lose. It's a very simple premise that they're in charge because they have something that we want, whether it's dinner, their mere presence, sex, whatever it is the woman is offering you or has the appearance of being offered can be taken back. I don't think that feminists like an equal relationship. They want to be the ones in charge. So they put out the ultimatums. They hold men responsible, but then they don't hold themselves responsible. It's quite a confusing dance if you sit down and examine it. And I think that confusion is left in place to keep men off balance. Because you get home from work, you're tired, you're exhausted, you sit on the couch, you're given an ultimatum. Get off that couch, we need to do this, we're going to that. And you are driven. And if you don't do this, I'll. And men need to quit giving in to that ultimatum. It is simple. I have so much peace in my life now that I'm not dealing with the daily ultimatum. And I'm not being held responsible to the whims of someone else. So when you look at men going their own way, I haven't left women. I've left feminism. Let me repeat that again. I've chosen to go my own way with regard to feminism and its edicts and the way it works. I choose not to play by its rules. It's not women I've left, but the concept of feminine. I've left it behind. I've gone my own way. That doesn't mean I don't see it out in front of me. Of course I see it out in front of me. It surrounds me daily. But men, if you want to have a woman, and I've talked about this is a battleground thing. If we don't have women as men, not all of us, some of us, the species dies. So how do we take it back? Right? How do we take control of our lives back? One, you have to take responsibility for it. And if you want to ghost them or just use women, that's your business. But in every case, you're taking responsibility for yourself, and you're holding the woman responsible for herself as a Mgtow man, right? You give them an ultimatum. And they don't even have to know about it. You're like, well, I'm going to have sex with you, woman, until you get out of line, and then I'm going to dump you. That's an ultimatum, and it's not really fair to the woman in a sense that she doesn't know that that's the rules. But that's precisely what women do to men. Feminists in particular. They have a set of rules that they're playing by, and we don't know about it. They're holding us responsible for a set of rules that we haven't been told or agreed to. But men, you need to start giving the women in your world, the feminists in your world, ultimatums. Ultimatums. You can tell them or you don't need to tell them. But we need to get feminism on its heels and backing up. You need to hold yourself responsible. When you have an ultimatum and you've thrown it out there, you need to stand behind it and stop letting feminist women act like children. They already have equal rights to your property if you marry them. They want all of the privileges and all of the rights, and they don't want to be held responsible. When we start holding them responsible and punishing them accordingly, punish them with real punishment, then they have to behave. Or you have gone your own way. There's going to come a point, and it's happening, where women don't like being ignored. And that's a big part of Mgtow, is denying women the attention they want. You need to have a set of rules that you're willing to live by, men. If you do it in your personal life or your professional life, why aren't you doing it in your personal life? You have the power to make the demand of the woman. The feminist out there, right? The real woman, whatever you want to call them, you can make demands of them. And the moment they fall, you get rid of them. Everything has to be a termination offense. Period. Women do it to you. Why are you so afraid to do it to women? This whole there's a bunch of fishes in the sea attitude is exactly what's given them the power they have. Because men acquiesce. Men, you need to be responsible. You're actually the responsible party. You have more power and control over your own intellect. You have better mental faculties than women. Period. Women have the power of the pussy. I contend that they have the responsibility for keeping the pussy. Men, you have the power. Take it back. Take it back. The moment she fucks up, you tell her, you're out of here. Now, the child. In this case, the child, woman, feminist, because that's what she's doing. She's exercising feminist qualities by beginning to act like a child. She will beg, she will plead, she'll throw a fit, she'll stomp her feet, she'll try and use guilt and shame to get you to let her off the hook. She's going to claim she made a mistake. You need to put the ultimatum out there, that is, have the rules understood with a clear set of consequences. And then you have to enforce those consequences. You have to enforce them harshly. And you can ask the woman, you can put her in her place. Is that what you really want? You should say to her, right? If that's what you want, get the fuck out and throw them out. Oh, no. Well, if you want to stay with me, you'll play by my rules. You need to take it simple control back at that simple level and then be responsible with it. Because good women have been ruined by feminism because men are not being responsible. You need to have a set of rules and have your ultimatums in place. Then you have to be willing to stand by it. It's so simple.